Hi, I'm Ranjit Singh of Logos English Services. I'll be talking to you about the structural approach to learn English. What is the structural approach? The structural approach is organized along grammatical lines, giving primacy to language form. It specifies structural patterns as the basic units of learning. Hence, its backbone is grammar study, which leads to sentence building. In order for one to write good English, he needs to know good grammar, and this course will prepare the student to learn English grammar before he learns how to write English sentences correctly. In the structural approach, the first principle is word order. As you can see on the board here, there are a few sentences written. The first sentence is Tom hit Jack. The second sentence is Jack hit Tom. Now there is a word order here. The word order is subject, verb, object, or SVO. Now in the first sentence, the meaning is different from the second sentence. Tom hit Jack has a different meaning from Jack hit Tom. But the word order is the same. Subject, verb, object. And in these two sentences, the subject columns and the object columns are made up of nouns. The nouns are Tom and Jack. Now look at this column here. He beat me, the third sentence. And the fourth sentence, I beat him. Now the meaning of the third sentence is different from the meaning of the fourth sentence. But the word order is the same. Subject, verb, object. And notice the words in the subject column and the object column are made up of pronouns. He is the subjective pronoun, me is the objective pronoun, I is the subjective pronoun, and him is the objective pronoun. Hence, it's very important to learn English grammar before one proceeds to learn writing in English correctly. Now, the second principle in the structural approach is the use of structural words. Now, what are the structural words? The structural words are made up of pronouns. Pronouns such as he, she, him, they, theirs, and a host of others. The second part of the structural words are made up of prepositions. In, at, under, from, and a host of others. And the third part of the structural words that we need to know are the helping verbs or the auxiliary verbs or modal verbs. And they are be, have, do, shall, will, may, and a host of others too. And the fourth part of the structural words that we need to know are adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives such as a, and, the, this, that, and a host of others. And adverbs. Again, ever, even, also, and a host of others. Now, these structural words are very important in the learning of English, because most of the words that we write with are composed of the structural words. Now, the third principle of the English language is inflection. Inflection refers to words undergoing changes of form by which the meaning of the words is modified. Now the first inflection in the English language is concerning number. Number constituting singular and plural. Most learners of English will find difficulty in choosing the right verb because they do not know the noun is singular or plural. Hence, this program will help them to identify the nouns that make up part of the sentences. Now let's take the first example. Now how are words how is number formed? How are the plurals formed? The first principle is boy, boys. They are formed by just adding the s. Pen, pens. The second way of forming plurals are by adding es. Dress, dresses, es. Match, matches. The third way of forming nouns hero, heroes, lady, ladies, key, keys. These are the various ways of forming the plural of nouns in the English language. Now the second most important inflection that we need to know are of verbs. Let's take the example of the verbs. But first we have to draw this table of personal pronouns. He, she, it, they. Let's take a verb. Walk. I walk. We walk. You walk. You walk. He, she, it walks. They walk. These are verbs in the present tense. As you can see, the third person singular ends in s. But there are other inflections too that we need to know. Let's take another verb. Try. I try. We try. You try. You try. He, she, it tries. They try. As you can see, the third person singular, the verb ends in ies. These verbs are all in the present tense. Let's take another example of a verb. Wash. I wash. We wash. You wash. You wash. He, she, it washes. They wash. As you can see, the third person singular ends in es. Now these are the inflections that one needs to know in order to master the English language. Now the third inflection in English language, which is very important, is adjectives. Adjectives, as we know, are made up of positive, comparative and superlative adjectives. Let's take an example of the adjective long. How is the comparative formed? It's by adding the er, the back of the positive. And how is the superlative formed? is by adding the est after the positive. Let's take another adjective, quick, quicker, quickest. But not all adjectives form their comparative and superlatives by adding er and est respectively. Some, like beautiful, form their comparatives by adding more. And they form the superlative by adding most in front of them. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. So it's very important for a learner to know the difference. Now the next inflection that we need to know are of adverbs. Adverbs too have their positive, comparative and superlative. Let's take the example of easily. Easily is the positive. More easily is the comparative. Most easily is the superlative. Positive, comparative, superlative. Easily, more easily, most easily. Now let's take another adverb, well. How do you form the comparative? The comparative is better and the superlative is best. What about another adverb, early? Earlier, earliest. Now as you can see, the knowledge of this is very important for one to learn the English language. Therefore, the bones of the English language are three: word order, structural words and inflection. Without the knowledge of these three principles, it will be very difficult for one to understand how to write English sentences correctly. And this program will help one to understand and use the 8 parts of speech in the building of correct English sentences. That's all for now. Thank you.